Well, hello friends. My name is Tim Flath, and I'm a retired clearance diving officer, and also the webmaster, if you can see the patch up there, of the Canadian Naval Divers Association. So if you're not a member of the Canadian Naval Divers Association, I suggest you join. It's open for all Navy divers, whether you're a clearance diver, ship's team diver, reserve diver, etc. Even diving medicine, the whole nine yards. So, I want to try this little experiment. So I have this buck knife here. It says buck knife right on it. It's a cheapy one. It's just a plastic handled one that I found in a drawer. It's I use it on my my boat a lot. It's just a inexpensive knife actually. So what I'll do is I'll revive a ship's team diver graphic that I converted into a vector graphic, which is what you need for doing engraving. So there's my engraving kit. It's a Elegoo Fecta 20 watt. It's there's different brands, but this one I got, it's a Kickstarter one. It works pretty good. And you tie it to a computer. I'll do the graphic up on the computer with laser, with Lightburn, which is the software for it. We'll send the image to this this blade. And the only thing I don't know about is how hard the metal is and whether it's engravable. Certain metals engrave better than others, stainless steel versus just steel or whatever. So we'll have to experiment. I might have to do a couple of engravings here to get the ideal cutting or engraving strength for the laser. So whether it's 80% and speed and all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of parameters you have to play with. And of course, this blade is not flat. It's actually got a bit of a taper to it, if you see. So it might affect, you know, the focus of the laser and that sort of stuff. So this is experiment number one. I'm sure if I got a flat blade, like a Solingen steel one, it would engrave a little bit nicer. But let's see what happens. I'll do a couple of videos of setting this thing up. You've of course got to set the focus on the laser head down here, and we'll adjust the size of the graphic so it fits on here, and then we'll do a graphics test. If you see on here, there's a framing thing that allows me to see where the actual engraving will take place within a frame, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll turn out nice. Okay, we got to be laser safe. That's why I have the cool shades on. And so what I've done is I've prepped the graphic. Let's see if I can flip this here. And there we've got the graphic. I mean, I can do whatever with it. I can leave out the circle or the graphics on the around the edge. I can leave in the Royal Canadian Navy and the ship's diver, or I can just go with the ship's team diver graphic. I'm going to try the whole meal deal here. And what I've done is I've etched it out to size. So this is basically where it's going to engrave, if I can get it to focus. And what I'll do is I'll place the knife, and I've already set the focal distance for the laser head. And what I'll do is ideally, this is where you kind of got to imagine where it's going to be, and it's not going to be perfect. So when I do this in bulk, I would have to make a jig so that you know, that's why it takes a couple of trial and error shots to get the perfect positioning. And we'll try that. And one of the settings here that I have is how much power. So I've got 90% power, 150 millimeters per minute is speed. You can go up to 15,000 millimeters per minute, but then you're not really engraving much. The slower the speed, the more it's going to engrave on metal. At that temperature, it'll actually burn right through 1/4 inch wood. So hopefully that'll be enough energy to mark the blade. Maybe it'll mark it too deep, I don't know. So this is where the game is about finding the settings for a particular blade, because there's different hardnesses of blades and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to home it. So if I push and I can hardly see the mouse with my goggles on here, But if I hit the home button, it homes the gantry here. And then I'm going to put this cover on. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to frame it and just see where the framing is going to be to make sure it's on the knife. So I'm going to hit the circle frame. So if I hit Shift, I'm going to put the phone down for a second because I just can't do it without two hands. So I'm going to go Shift, circle frame, and there. That's showing where it's basically going to engrave on the blade. Hopefully it's there. I'm more fussed with the camera and everything. So we'll put the shielding, and that's only 1% power when I frame it. So it's just so you can see the laser and where it's going to engrave. And so I'm going to hit start, and let's see what happens. So now it's engraving. This is where I keep my lights. My laser goggles on, even though I've got a shroud on it. So it's here's the progress bar showing that it's engraving, and we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't even mark the blade, then I'll have to go even slower with higher power, like 100% power or whatever. So, good thing there's two sides to a blade. So if I botch this one, I can always flip it and do one more trial on the other side. Or if it doesn't mark it at all, I can just keep doing the same blade. So we're at 63%, 68%, 72%. Getting there. That's a pretty cool graphic. I got it off the, I think it's the ship's diving coin. There we go. Let's see what happened. Unzip the shroud, keep the laser goggles on, and nothing. Didn't even mark it. That's weird. Okay, let's try it again. I'm gonna do it off camera. I'll just do a few settings and see what happens. I redid the graphic here. I took off the wording. Maybe it was too small or whatever and too concentrated. And I just kept it to just the dolphins, just to make it bigger on the blade. And I dialed the speed down to 100 millimeters per minute. I think the lowest I can go is 100 or 50, I'm not sure. And 100% power. So. And then the other thing is my focus wasn't perfectly correct. I was actually out of depth on the focus. So now I've got it placed on that square, and it's homed. So we'll home it again. You'll hear it click. There we go. And then we'll go frame. There you can see the framing happening on the blade. And it looks like we're there. So now I'm at 100%. And we will seal this up. Don't want any stray laser light coming out. And we'll hit start. And I won't film this whole thing. All right, moment of truth. The cut job or engraved job is complete. So now we're gonna unzip the containment unit, and oh, we do get some sort of an engraving. Look at that. Might be a little hot. And I could probably go up a little higher on that. Now let's see what happens when I clean it off a little bit, because that's a little bit of... I think that was all about the focus. So if I went back, let's do it again on the other side here. I don't want to wreck this buck thing here though, so let's see. Let's try this again. Oh, I see. That's also, it's going to be a height difference too, because it's resting on this little metal thing here. So I'm going to have to put the phone down here and refocus the laser, so because there's a standoff device to refocus the laser, and then we'll slow the temp down so we don't get as much burning effect. You can see that little standoff that's sticking down there, right there. That gives me my standoff distance to the item that I'm engraving. So what I do is I just put it down to the device, and then I've got to stop here and tighten down the laser so it doesn't move up or down. Try this one at 150 millimeters per minute and 100% power. Air assist will be off because it doesn't produce soot or fumes like wood does. So let's do that. And we're going to home it again. That'll bring the laser back to the home base, and then I'll do another frame and make sure that it's going to be on the blade itself. Perfectly, so we're going to go back, and following the mouse, we're going to hit start on the right hand side there, and now you can see the progress, and we'll bring it back when I open it up. All right, let's see how this one turned out. Oh, wow. Look at that. So that's online. So let's go and clean that up and see if the carbon, that might be even too hot. But we've proved that we can actually etch it. Now, the other thing we could do is maybe use less heat and do fill. I'm not sure you want to do a fill on that kind of thing, but let's see what it does when we clean it up with some water and just brush off the carbon there. Here's the big reveal, and I'm using some of my other laser cutting projects here. These are a game of pegs and jokers, and there's a marble run thing that I built. That's one of the first things I actually built with with the laser. It's free online files that you can cut out, and then they give you instructions on how to build it. So, I'm uber impressed. So after we cleaned it up, that's the hotter one. That's 100 millimeters per minute at 100% power on the 20 watt diode. So you can see there's a little bit of burning effect, but it makes it pop. So I cleaned it off with a scrub brush basically, and got rid of all the carbon. And then this is the other side where I went to 150 millimeters at 100%. So it's about the same. So I could even probably dial it back even more. So the critical thing on this one is the focus. But that's a stainless steel blade. I don't know what that means, 311 plus. Maybe that's the type of stainless steel it is. But we can certainly do it on that type of buck knife, and made in China, of course, you see, and you can see the buck logo there. So we could probably come up with some different settings and do it like that's kind of a fill setting there for the graphic, but it's a much lighter presentation. So if you want something that's going to just pop, maybe better to go to hotter temperatures, but probably want to play with it and then come up with a chuck or a jig basically to get it more centered consistently, if I'm doing a whole bunch of knives or whatever, because it's that focus or that framing beam doesn't really show up. You can't really see it because it reflects it, so you don't see exactly where it's going to go. So that's why I imprinted the square on the actual laser. So it is certainly within the realm of possibility to engrave knives, and I'm not in it for the money. I'm just in it for, I'm a hobbyist. So, and I know this isn't a big quantity, so if folks want to do that, they can swing by my place, and it's a gamble, because I'm just cutting my teeth on the whole engraving and cutting thing. But as you can see, I've figured out quite a bit of stuff. Go to the other room here and I'll show you some of the other goods that I've done. A little tour of my house. So here's some other laser cutting things I've done with. These are all available free online. The models. It's not like there's a ping pong Gatling gun that I built for my nephew. They'll be sending that for his birthday present. And then a nice little box there and a beer pack. So anyway, folks, you guys are having a hard time finding somebody to do the engraving, and I'm local here in Victoria. Sorry for the guys out east, but anyway, I'm happy to help out if you need it. Cheers.